Merry Christmas. This is David Locke and my eldest child, Owen. Hey, Owen. Say hey.
Hey.
And we are going to teach you our family's favorite Christmas recipe. If any recipe is sacred within a family, I guess the boiled custard is the most sacred. I'm now teaching Owen to make it, as well as his younger brother, and we have now made this for 6 generations. My great, and Owen's great, 4th grade, grandmother made this. My great grandmother, Belle. She taught it to her daughter, who was Rosalie King. She taught it to my great-grandmother, Lily Mae Irby, who taught it to my grandmother, Sarah Owen, and her 2 sisters, Linda and Fran. And now I'm teaching it to Owen.
So it's kind of a family condition.
It's not a family condition, it's a family tradition. Now, Owen, what's your favorite thing about boiled custard?
So I like when every Christmas night, we have a party and we put the boiled custards in these little cups and we get to drink it with our dessert.
Wonderful. Every Christmas night we have it, and we also leave it out for Santa.
Mm-hmm.
The Locks don't leave out cookies, we leave out boiled custard. Now, a lot of people think this is eggnog. It's not eggnog. It is its own southern dessert. Eggnog doesn't sound very good. And it really has very simple ingredients, and let's show them the ingredients. You need large proportions of this. Now, for demonstration purposes, we're going to make it half the size that you would normally make it. But when you are making it for you and your family, you're going to want a dozen eggs.
And sugar.
You're going to need sugar. You're going to need a whole small bottle of, what is this?
Vanilla.
Vanilla extract. And those are basically the only ingredients. It's basically just sugar, vanilla, egg, and then one thing we didn't put out, an entire gallon of whole milk. And Owen's going to go get that for us. Then the equipment that we're going to need, you're going to want your KitchenAid mixer, you're going to want a wooden spoon, you're going to want a spatula, you're going to want a heat-proof, safe microwave dish, and then a large saucepan that you can cook it on the stove. So next, and you can see my big, strong 8-year-old has gotten our gallon of milk. So now you see all the equipment and the ingredients you're going to need, and we're going to show you how to make it next. Now for the first step, what we're going to do is we've got 6 eggs, so we're only making half a recipe, and we're just simply going to separate those. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack our eggs, and we're just going to simply make sure that we're separating that using the shell, and we're just going to separate the whites from the yolks, and we'll do this very carefully.
So and you don't want to get any shells in it.
Right, so now we've separated our yolks from our whites, and we'll do that with each one of our eggs, and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, so Owen and I have divided our yolk from our whites, and we've just done 6 eggs because again we're making half a recipe. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to start heating the milk to make the custard. And one of the things my aunt added to this recipe that was our family tradition is the microwave. And what I'd suggest is warm your milk in batches in the microwave in that heat safe container, and you really want to make sure you use a glass container. I used a melamine container one time and it actually began to melt the melamine.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you want to do is do it in
bad.
batches. It was bad. It started to smell the house up, didn't it? So what you want to do if you're doing the full gallon is you probably want to do it in about 4 to 5 batches. We're doing half a gallon, so we'll probably do it in 2 batches. And when it's just very hot to the touch, we'll pour it into our saucepan or a large pot that we've got on the stove.
And you want to touch the spoon to the bottom, or else you will burn.
It'll scorch, that's right. I tell him that all the time. When we get it over to the large pot on the stove, you've got to make sure the spoon goes all the way down and you're stirring constantly or it will scorch and we'll have to do what? Throw it away? Yeah, we'd have to throw it away.
Hey David, one question. Had I ever burnt the boiled custard?
We have not burnt the boiled custard. Alright, so you can see why I need my wonderful assistant here. He is stirring. He's making sure that the milk is not sticking to the bottom. I can hear my great-grandmother saying, make sure you stir it or it'll stick. So that's the thing that he certainly remembers. So I've heated this in 2-cup batches for about 90 seconds on high on the microwave, and I keep adding them to the pot. So I'm just going to add this
and
over.
if you want to know, my grandmother, she was a great person.
She was a great person. Okay, so while Owen is stirring our milk and getting it hot, I'm going to start preparing the egg whites. So I've put in my egg whites into my KitchenAid. I've attached a wire whip to it, and I'm going to start it at a very low speed and build that up until I have very stiff peaks. They say that when a meringue is perfect or egg whites are perfect, you can actually turn them up over your head. I haven't done that. I haven't been that brave, but you can certainly do it if you want. Then the next thing we'll show you are the steps on the stovetop. When you're making boiled custard, you will bring it to a very rolling boil, almost to the point where you'll think it's about to explode. And then we're going to take the egg whites and we're going to kind of press them down into the boiled custard. But what we're going to do next is, now that he's gotten the milk very hot, we're going to add the sugar. Okay, so now we're just adding in our sugar to that very hot milk. And then when we get it a little bit hotter, we'll temper our eggs. Okay, so egg whites look really good. You can see they're very stiff, and that is perfect. And next we're going to temper our eggs. So now I'm going to show you how to temper the eggs. I've got my egg yolks in here. I'm going to simply take a ladle full of very hot milk, and then I'm going to take my whisk, and then as I whisk, I'm going to just slowly pour that milk in. Otherwise, if I just pour these egg yolks directly into the custard, I'll end up with scrambled eggs. After I've got this fully tempered, then what I'll do is I'll pour it back in the custard, and then we're going to show you how to finish cooking it. So Owen is stirring away, and we're getting ready to put our tempered egg yolks in, and then we're going to get it to boiling, and we will boil it for a full 10 minutes, and then we'll put our meringue on top.
And if your hand starts getting hot, you can always use a
oven mitt. Good, handy dandy, helpful hint, Owen. So the milk is about at boiling, and I'm going to add in slowly my tempered egg yolks. And then we're going to take this to a rolling boil, controlling our heat for 10 solid minutes. So now I'm going to crank the heat up. So you can see my custard has started to boil. It's rolling. I'm going to control the temperature. This is very easy to do on a gas stove. I'm going to make sure it doesn't boil over. And my sidekick, Owen, has put 10 minutes on the clock, and we're going to boil it until it beeps, adjusting the temperature up and down. Again, making sure it doesn't boil over and making sure it does not stick. Okay, we're 5 minutes in, halfway through. You can see I have an oven mitt on, and you can see if I stop, see how it's boiling? Of course, you want to make sure you're stirring constantly. So 5 more minutes to go, and then we'll off heat. All right, so we have been boiling it almost a full 10 minutes. Just a few more seconds on the clock, and when the buzzer goes off, we'll turn our heat off. If you're doing this on an electric stove, you want to actually move it off of the eye and let it cool down, and then we'll show you the next step. And there's the buzzer. Okay, so our custard is nice and thick, and now we're going to add what my great-grandmother called the icing. So we're just going to take those egg whites, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our spatula and just kind of press them down in this very hot liquid, and the heat of the custard will actually cook our egg white. So here's our finished boiled custard. You can see we've pressed the egg white down, we've cooked it. Now we're going to remove this to the refrigerator. We're going to put it on a hot pad and let it get really nice and chilled, and then we're going to serve it in our little demi-tasse cups. So we finished our boiled custard, and we have chilled it, and we've got a little bit of the icing on it, and my grandmother, or my great-grandmother, served it in little Dixie cups, and we added these little demi-tasse. So cheers, and Merry Christmas from the Locke family.
Join Boots and Bow Ties
on our website at bootsandbowties.com, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.